Hi everyone, it's Dr. Domingo. This is the first of our weekly wrap-up videos for LDRD 646, Developing Leaders of the Future. I've really been impressed with your discussion so far in this first module as we've looked at the first aspect, or the first principle in Kouzes and Posner's Leadership Challenge, and that's modeling the way. I hope you've also got a chance to take a look at the supplemental videos that I've posted, one from The Lord of the Rings and the other from Invictus, because I think those two movies and those scenes give very good illustrations of what it is to model the way. In addition, I think in the book we have looked at a handbook of leadership development from the Center for Creative Leadership. Now, I know it's been mentioned that there is a later edition of that book available, and I encourage you to take a look at that. But the principles remain true in terms of thinking of the leader and follower relationship as paramount. And leadership is essentially an opportunity for the leader and the follower, or the constituents, to participate relationally in shared decision making. That's very important because this concept of relationship will be embedded throughout our course. With the Leadership Challenge with Kouzes and Posner, one of the things that we looked at in modeling the way is looking at and clarifying your own individual values. Just what are those individual values? So, in looking at that book, there's a lot of introspection and self-reflection I hope will happen throughout as you look through the various other chapters. And as we begin to look at Module 2, which is challenging the process, one of the things I want you to think about is within your own organizations, what processes are there to challenge? How do we think of organizational processes? Are there things that need to be changed? And so think about your own context, step back a little bit and say, if you were to look at your organization as a whole, what are some things that you do as an organization that could be revised, that could be looked at, and ultimately challenged? As we go through the weekend, continue to post. I've really loved our discussion again that I've mentioned, but continue to post, because what I'd like to have happen over time is that throughout the quarter, I want this discussion board not just to be a respond to the initial post and respond to 3 others, but I'd like to make it interactive. And so think of it as an ongoing conversation back and forth with, of course, substantive content, but I encourage you to challenge, to ask questions, to maybe ask, what do you think of this? So that it's almost like a conversation back and forth. In addition, what I'd like to do as well is, instead of having the initial post and 3 responses, at 3 points throughout this course, throughout the modules, we're going to do something a little bit different. It might be a course wiki, it might be a Blackboard Collaborate session, but nonetheless, I think I'm going to change a little bit from the pattern of doing an initial post and responses for all 10 weeks. We'll talk about that more in the weeks ahead, but for now, continue the conversation and the great discussion that we've had through our first post in this first module through the weekend. And if you have any questions, concerns, don't hesitate to contact me anytime. I look forward to seeing you online.